Ooh.
Thank you, everyone, for participating today. We are now joined by Melissa Smith, and we'll begin the press conference. Use the raise hand function to indicate you would like to ask a question. Again, as a reminder, Melissa can't see you, so when you are called on for your question, please state your name and affiliation first. We'll first go to Jerry.
Hey, Melissa, Jerry Hill, Baylor Bear Insider. Talk about just the way this team gutted it out. Had to come up with some plays there toward the end of regulation and in overtime.
I mean, if it doesn't show today that we want to win the whole thing, then I don't know what to tell y'all. But this team just gave it their all today. I mean, this is a team I knew we were capable of being, and we finally get to put it on display.
We'll now go to Teresa.
Teresa Walker, the Associated Press. Your day, 11 of 11 from the field. How big did that bucket look to you today?
It's crazy just to know, like, I played 40 minutes and didn't miss one shot. I mean, it hasn't sunk in yet, but that's a crazy number.
We'll now go to Chad.
Melissa, given that you made everything you looked at, were you kind of like, give me the ball, especially when they were making big baskets?
Yeah, to a certain extent. Like, when I knew I was open, that's when I knew I could have got the ball. But also my teammates were scoring too. Like, Moon was scoring a lot. Dejanay was getting a lot. So, I mean, just feed the hot hand is really what I'm going with.
And if you have a question, please use the raise hand function. We'll go to Michelle.
Yeah, congratulations, Melissa, on that performance. I wanted to ask you, I know you guys were excited about getting a chance to play UConn during the regular season, and that game unfortunately got canceled. How excited are you that chance now to be in this 1-2 matchup for the regional final?
Oh, we're very excited. An opportunity to play a top team is what we thrive the most. So, I mean, we're super excited to play that game.
Nikki?
Hey, Melissa, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Nikki Larulo with KCEN. First off, we're going to start calling you the bucket, if that's okay with you. I came up with that.
That's cool.
I spoke to your family earlier this week, and your parents said they were so excited that fans were going to start being allowed in, that all your friends and family can come. How awesome was it to have this performance in front of your family and friends?
It's crazy. I mean, I heard everything they were saying. I mean, I love playing in front of my family, love playing in front of all my friends. So, I mean, just for them to be there is super special to me.
All right. As a reminder, when you are called on, please make sure you state your name and affiliation. Next, we'll go to Emma.
Hi, Emma Bachelari from Sports Illustrated. What do you think it meant to you guys today to have a pretty balanced scoring effort with not only you, but also Moon and Dejanay all working?
It just shows how deep the roster goes, just knowing that everybody could score the ball. If I'm not hot, then Moon's going to be hot. If Moon's not hot, Dejanay going to be hot. Or all three of us going to be hot at the same time. So, I mean, it just shows how deep our roster is.
We'll go back to Jerry.
Jerry Hill, Baylor Bear Insider. I'm not sure what the play call was there at the end of regulation, but was surprised it didn't go to you. Was there a play called there that went to Moon?
Oh, yeah. We had ran. Yeah, the play was for Moon to get the shot at the end.
Did you want the shot?
Nah, I got all faith in Moon. She could take the shot again.
All right, next we'll go to Chantel.
Hey, Melissa, this is Chantel Jennings with The Athletic. Congrats on the win. This is kind of a good follow-up because it's about Moon. She does so much for this team, but she's a player who really sort of put in her time, and now she's having this huge senior season. What is it like for you to see her have this kind of a year?
It's super special. I mean, a lot of people that don't stay the course nowadays. So just for her to stay the course and have to sit on the bench when she did and just seeing how she's performing now is super special, and it's a blessing that she's on my team.
Next, we'll go to Michelle.
Yeah, Melissa, what do you think are going to be the biggest keys in terms of the things you want to improve on from this round to the next?
Just staying focused, resting our bodies. We're going to watch scout, and we're going to just guard them.
All right, we'll go to Chad.
Melissa, after winning the first two games by 40 points, and you mentioned if this game shows that you guys are ready to go all the way, is that because it was a battle tonight or today?
Games like this just show what your team is capable of. So playing this game, it just showed how confident I am in them, and yeah.
Thanks.
Again, if you have a question, please use the raise your hand function. All right. Thank you, Melissa, for your time, and best of luck in the next round.
Thank you so much.
We'll be joined momentarily by Coach Mulkey. Please use this time to raise or lower your hand as necessary. Okay, we are now joined by Coach. As a reminder, please use the raise hand function to indicate you would like to ask a question. Also, another reminder, Coach cannot see you, so when you are called on for your question, please state your name and affiliation first. We'll first go to Jerry.
Jerry Hill, Baylor Bear Insider. Kim, Nelissa's game, I mean, I think she tied an NCAA regional record, 11 for 11. Just talk about what she brought you. I mean, you had other players, but obviously she had a huge game.
Yeah, well, the record speaks for itself. She actually, if she makes one more free throw, she's perfect from the foul line as well. Just a phenomenal player. I thought she was an All-American on the floor for us tonight. I thought that when we struggled, she was a leader somewhat. You know, Liz has just grown up a lot on that floor, and thank God she's on our team tonight because she made some big-time shots for us.
We'll go next to Teresa.
Teresa Walker, the Associated Press. Coach, now you get into this next round against UConn, a game that wasn't able to be played this season. How much does it mean to get to this, get back to another final, regional final?
Well, it just means a great deal to get to an Elite Eight. We've got a ton of those in my 21 years at Baylor, and it matters to us. I thought our crowd was outstanding. They helped us. Just a lot of Baylor people throughout the arena. I don't know that it matters that it's UConn as much as it's more important to our program that we're in another Elite Eight. Now, you know, we didn't get to play them because I came down with COVID, and you know, it's two programs that have, I think, won the most national championships with their coaches that are currently coaching. Obviously, Pat Summitt and what she has done will never be forgotten, but I think they have 11 and we have 3, and, you know, down the pipe, Stanford has 2 and Maryland has, you know. So it's two programs that are very proud. I'm certainly not going to outcoach Gino, so our players better they better compete and try to outplay his players.
We'll now go to Chad.
Kim, Melissa mentioned that, you know, this type of game shows that you guys can go all the way because it was a battle, and it's the first overtime you guys have had this year. Chad Conine, Waco Tribune Hero, by the way, I keep forgetting that. But just to be in a battle and win it the way you did, what does that mean for your team?
Well, winning is, whether it was overtime, double overtime, regulation, winning is all that matters. I'm not one of these that thinks, oh, man, we've been in a tight game, we won it. That's really going to boost us in the next game. What we've got to be careful of now is make sure that they rest and get the proper, you know, rest. When you get to a Sweet 16 and Elite 8, everybody's good. And, guys, Kim, their coach, is one of my favorite people in coaching. I want to compliment her and her team. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to play so tough. I thought they were just tough. I thought they were physical. They kept us from going to the offensive boards. They do the fundamental things right, like blocking out. They're very familiar with everything we want to run because they have one of my former assistants, over there. Both teams had a lot of turnovers. And I just thought, I'm complimenting Michigan because I haven't seen them on film shoot the three ball like that all year. But it's tournament time, it's playoffs, it's do or die, and people step up. And Hillman, we know, is a great player. I thought we contained her pretty much, but they had kids who barely averaged scoring, and they were hitting threes, so almost doubled the number of threes that they average, all year. So I want to compliment them. I know how it feels in a locker room when your season's over. Was it a good game for ABC? You bet it was. Was it a good game for women's basketball? You bet it was. We made just enough plays to win it. I thought Queen struggled, got that very first foul 10 seconds into the game, and I don't know if that affected her. I don't know if it was Hillman that affected her. But what Queen did do is she got the big offensive rebound there when it was a 2-point game, and she made one of 2 free throws. So you go in that locker room and you acknowledge the other team, but you also give yourself some credit.
Michelle.
Yeah, Coach Mulkey, it's Michelle Vogel from ESPN.com. You mentioned you and UConn having, the most championships of coaches that are still coaching. Can you talk about how the fact that you two have done this for so long, to have that target on your back the way that you have and the way that UConn has, what does it take to be able to do that year after year?
Michelle, 21 years ago, I became the head coach at Baylor University. Actually, it was April 4th of 2000, and it seems like an eternity ago. Baylor was bottom of the Big 12. Last place. They had won 7 games the previous year. You work. You roll your sleeves up and you work. And in 5 years, we won our first national championship. The hard part then really began. While doors opened and it allows you to go into these great players' homes, our program wasn't built with the McDonald's All-Americans. Our program had to be built with people who took a chance on me and Baylor University, and I won't ever forget that. So leading to answer your question is, it is very difficult to sustain something that is an elite level. You see programs who are Cinderellas and they do this up and down. Then you see those that stay, kind of in the middle and have good programs. We want to stay up here, and we want to play for championships, not only in the NCAA playoffs and the tournament, but in the Big 12. And it's not easy. It is not easy at all.
Doug.
Hey, Coach, Doug Feinberg, BAP. Good to see you. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
I know you just talked about, it's just about winning. It doesn't matter if you win by 50 or 2. You just have to win at this point in the season. I'm curious, though, does it help you? Because I don't know how many close games you've had lately to have a game like this, because potentially the next 3, if you get that far, I'm guessing will be more tight than the first 2 rounds you had.
The deeper you go, the tougher the opponent and the tighter the games. And I guess you could say we did enough on the offensive and defensive end to win the game in overtime. We made some big shots. We had, again, some critical turnovers and didn't execute. But before I criticize our team, I want to compliment Michigan. Maybe Michigan had something to do with that. I know that our kids didn't give up. I know our kids, we got a 12-point lead, wasn't it, at one time? And then we'd come down and have a turnover. It just seemed like every time we would extend the lead, we would do something to allow them back in it. But maybe Michigan needs to be complimented, and maybe we didn't do so bad. So I don't know if it helps or hurts. Each game is different.
Next, we'll go to Mandy.
Hey, Coach. Mandy Knight, Fox 44 out of Waco. And so obviously you were talking about this was a phenomenal game for ABC for women's college basketball. Just taking a step back, how proud does this make you just to see all of the pieces come together in this incredible battle-tested type game?
Well, I'm proud anytime we win. I'm proud for the program, first of all, and then for each player collectively and individually. And there's a lot of players on that floor that were big-time role players and didn't get the minutes when we won the national championship, which is the last time any of us ever played in an NCAA tournament. There's a lot of kids on that floor in critical moments tonight that weren't on that floor, and great experience for them. So yeah, I'm proud, and I don't take it for granted. Do you know how many teams would love to play in an Elite Eight? I don't know if we can get past Connecticut. It's going to be hopefully a good ball game. But what I do know, win or lose, we're right there again fighting for a national championship.
We'll go to Jerry.
Jerry Hill, Baylor Bear Insider. Kim, you talked about making plays to win this game. I thought Dejanay at the end of close to the end of regulation, and then she had one again in the overtime, the steal and the layup. I mean, those were big plays. How big was she in a game like this?
Well, I think each of them, if I broke each of them down, they would tell you first, gosh, yeah, but I did this bad on the other end earlier in the game, and I did this bad. So you just got to kind of have short-term memory, and you got to keep playing. And, yes, she got in the passing lane. She picked it off. That's experience. That's someone that, she shot some threes and wasn't making it, and then, boom, she hits a big three for us. So that's the nature of sports. It's particularly the nature of basketball. You gotta flush it and move on to the next play. And I think her experience and having been in college as long as she has and played against big-time opponents before we got her when she was in the Pac-12, and she's healthy, and it's just allowed her to not get too flustered or too high or too low.
Next, we'll go to Spencer. Okay, again, if you have a question, please use the raise hand function. We'll try Spencer one more time.
Hi, Coach. Spencer Nussbaum from The Next. Even from a virtual setting, it's clear how much joy this team has playing with one another. I'm curious how much of a factor that culture becomes when you have these stressful moments down the stretch and when you're really looking to make a deep run in the tournament. How much of a factor does that play?
Well, it plays a factor, and I'll tell you, I put those shoes on many years ago, and I was coached by some of the best. And what I have learned as a coach is their joy and their happiness and their picking each other up lifts me. And when I'm really wanting to be upset in a timeout, they won't allow me getting on a teammate to affect that teammate. They will pick that teammate up. If I take a teammate out of the game for a mistake or something, those other players are picking that teammate up, no matter how frustrated I am at them. So they teach me a lot as well.
Chad Conan, Waco Tribune Herald. Kim, you guys are number one rebound margin team in the country. Michigan was number 7, I think. UConn is number 6. You mentioned what Michigan did well to rebound today. But, I mean, is it just going to be in that type of game again on Monday night?
Well, it could be. You're looking at two programs that value defense. I'm going to start with field goal percentage defense. I think Baylor and UConn are in the top 3 in the country in field goal percentage defense. Then you look at rebounding. Well, that might explain to you why both programs are respected across the country. So, yeah, it could be an ugly game. And when I say ugly, it could be low scoring. It could be some turnovers. It could be, some people want to say boring. It may not be 80 and 90. I don't know. What I do know is Michigan did everything possible to keep us off the offensive boards. They do just blocked out fundamentals. Everybody is on the defensive boards for them, and that's what well-coached teams do. That's what teams that are excited about, getting to a Sweet 16 for the first time, compliments and everything I can say good about Michigan and coaching staff.
Andrew?
Yes, Coach. Moon Urson started out 0 for 4 the game. She finished, I think, 8 of 16, so she finished 8 of 12 the rest of the way. What did you see from her over the course of the game that she was improving and staying in the game mentally, that you dialed up that last play of regulation to give her the shot?
Well, actually, I heard you guys or somebody ask, I think it was Jerry, Jerry, he wants to ask a question that gets, everybody riled up, but you would think I was going to go to Nalissa, right? I guess if I was a smart coach and she hadn't missed a shot, I better go to her, but Nalissa actually wanted Moon to take that shot because she felt like she could get her open better than she could get herself open. And so we dialed it up for her, and she had a great look. She had a great look, and she missed it, and that's the way it played out.
Coach, thank you for your time today, and good luck in the next round.
Thanks, guys.
That'll wrap it up for today's press conference. As a reminder, Baylor's press conference tomorrow will be at 9:30 a.m. Central Time. Again, that is starting at 9:30 a.m. Central Time tomorrow. A recording of this press conference will be posted in the NCAA Digital Media Hub at ncaa.baritone.com. Thank you for joining us.
Welcome to the NCAA Division I Women's Basketball Championship post-game press conference featuring Michigan. We'll hear from head coach Kim Barnes-Rico first, followed by student athlete Naz Hillman. We'll now begin with an opening statement from head coach Kim Barnes-Rico and then go to questions.
Well, I thought that was a great basketball game tonight. Baylor's obviously one of the top teams in the country, and we had them on the ropes. Actually thought we had them for a period of time there. We put ourselves in a position in regulation and in overtime to win the game. So just really proud of our team. We persevered through a tremendous amount this season and had an opportunity to beat the national champions tonight. So it's tough. We have a great group of players and a great group of seniors, and it's tough to end the season tonight.
We'll now open up to questions. Use the raise hand function to indicate you'd like to ask a question. We'll go to Doug Feinberg, AP.
Hey, Coach. Good to see you.
Hi, Doug.
Congrats on a wonderful season. You look somewhat emotional there. I can't tell completely, but I'm guessing it was not obviously a happy locker room. Just talk about what it was like this year, with what you went through, and to put the defending champions on the ropes and probably be one possession away from reaching the Elite Eight for the first time.
Yeah, our season, and even from last March, all the way through today, we didn't know what tomorrow was going to bring, and we had been put on a number of pauses, university shutdowns, COVID, and it just felt like all through the year, one thing after another thing was being thrown in our direction. But we had such a tremendous start, and we had such a positive group of young women that really I felt so great about them. I was hoping that we would have the opportunity to be in the position that we were tonight, because I felt so confident about them, and just our experience and our maturity and how we handled every single thing that was thrown our direction was absolutely incredible. And I don't know, if I've ever had a team like this, and I felt really good about them. And Doug, even you and everybody else out there that, doubted us at so many times, or, we said disrespected us at so many times because we hadn't played enough games, or, because we were shut down on pause again, or because we had another student athlete that was out with COVID. Pretty much, we were thrown into every difficult situation all season long. And if the rest of the country didn't see that we're one of the best basketball teams out there, I don't know what you have to do to get that kind of respect, but just proud of our team. It's really hard because, when you're the underdog and you're always playing, the Baylors and the UConns and the Stanfords of the world, and you get in a position to win the game, man, that's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough one to get over. It's going to take a long time.
We'll go to Brad Galley.
Hey, Coach. Justin Rose from Channel 7. The emotion obviously is running high. Can you take us into that locker room just now with some of those girls that have battled through all the things that you just kind of mentioned?
Yeah, this is the kind of team that they are. They're looking at themselves, and Danielle Roush, I mean, she just has stepped up to everything that's been thrown our way, and she's saying, man, I made a mistake here, and man, I could have done this, and man, what if I did this, and oh my gosh, if I had that possession back. So they're just winners. They're winners, and their character. And I mean, even, Mulkey came up to me after and just said, I never saw a team that played that hard and that played for each other and with fight and never quit. And obviously we're led by an All-American and Naz Hillman, but the pieces that were around her and the confidence that they all had around her was incredible. So they're devastated. They're distraught. They knew the moment was theirs, and we thought we were going to be able to get it, and we really felt confident that we were going to be able to get it. They were confident. They were confident coming in. Everybody doubted us from Florida Gulf Coast. I mean, nobody thought we were going to win that game. Then certainly not playing the SEC in Tennessee, certainly not winning that game. And then Baylor, the national champs, not winning that game. But everyone in our circle believed that they were going to win the game. So it's definitely emotional when you coach for a long time and you get a group of young women that have that belief and that confidence and that camaraderie. You know you have something special. So it's hard to say goodbye to this year's team.
Go to Steve Kornacki.
Hi, Kim.
Hey, Steve.
Can you put into words what Leah Brown did in this game? I mean, a lot of players did some fabulous things for you, but what she did was really a notch above. Put into words what she did for you today.
Yeah, you know, and I talk about it, you know, all the time. When Leah called and wanted to come here, and she said, I just want to, you know, I love watching you guys play, and I love watching your team, and I want to be a part of that, and I want to play with Naz. I want to be surrounded by Naz, and when Naz draws so much attention, that opens things up for Leah, and she's just such a competitor. She has ice in her veins. She missed 39 days in the middle of the season. 39 days. So from January, whatever it was, 8th, she didn't come back till February something. And we were still competing and persevering and going through everything without her. And you guys see how special she is. And we held our ground, and other people stepped up. Every time we lost somebody on our team this season, the next person stepped up. And it was like we never missed a beat. We never missed a heartbeat. We never missed anything. And now Leah's back to playing with a lot of confidence and, you know, such a dynamic 1-2 punch with her and Naz. And so many teams just focus on Naz that it really opened things up for Leah. And just, I mean, she's an incredible player. She's a competitor. I love her. Her teammates love her. And she's pretty distraught because, you know, she knew we had this one too.
Go to Angelique from the Detroit News.
Kim, I was just wondering that that last sequence, if you could take us through that, what you wanted to see from that, you know, that last shot.
Yeah, I don't even know which one was the last shot. Was that? I mean, there's so many last ones. And do you mean the one with 0.9 seconds? And,
yes.
Okay. So we thought originally they told us we were going to have 1.1 seconds on the clock. So we drew something up for that to get a 3, and then we found out, you know, later that it was going to be 0.9 seconds. We ran a stagger screen. Leah got a shot. I mean, she got a shot. So we just ran her curling off of a stagger screen to try to get a shot, and she had a look. Obviously, it was short. It was deep. It was short, but you know that the game didn't come down to that second. I thought our kids did a fabulous job of executing down the stretch and getting the shots that we wanted. Also being able to make plays, but really getting the shots that we wanted down the stretch. I mean, we were down 7 late in the fourth quarter, and we were able to execute stuff out of timeouts, out of dead balls, and make extra passes and make great shots. So, you know, even till the end, our kids were really confident that Leah was going to get that shot and be able to make that shot.
We'll go to Lily Israel.
Hi, Coach. It's Lily Israel from the Michigan Daily. You just touched on the last shot of overtime, but can you touch on the last shot in regulation? How was Naz able to get so open there?
We run state. What did we run? Yeah, I think, you know, obviously, and you guys, you know, see this a little bit. Naz draws so much attention. So our whole game plan is wrapped around Naz getting the ball, but people take that away every single time with 2 people, with 3 people, with 4 people. So it's so important that you're able to knock down shots around her. And in the first half, we weren't able to do that, but our confidence continued in the second half, and that gave us the ability to knock down some other shots. And when you knock down some other shots, then Naz gets a little bit of space. So I think they had to pay attention to Danielle, who had made a couple shots, and Haley, who had made a couple shots, and Leah, who had just made a shot, and that gave Naz a little space. I mean, all she needs is a little space, but she rarely ever gets a little space. And thankfully, you know, we were able to get that at the end of the game. I mean, everything we run through Naz. And obviously every team in America knows that. So that was once again tonight, and people do a great job of taking it away. But she was able to get that touch late.
Go to Ethan Mark Sears.
Hey, Kim. Ethan Sears, Michigan Daily. You were talking about kind of the adversity this team has faced and, obviously getting a little bit emotional. I wondered just kind of what does this team and to have a year like this kind of mean to you?
Yeah. When everybody comes to play at the University of Michigan, their goal is to win a championship. And most teams at the University of Michigan have won a championship. But the fact that Michigan women's basketball hasn't is what drew me here and what made me leave my life of 40 years because I believed in Michigan and I believed that we could create something special. But it doesn't matter what I believe. We need players in our program that believe the same thing, players that could have gone anywhere else in the country and chose Michigan because they believe that they could come here and they could make a difference, and they believe that they could come here and they can win a championship. And those players, you saw those players tonight. I mean, Naz Hillman, she could play anywhere in the country, and she's an All-American. She's one of the best. She chose Michigan. Haley Brown, another player. Leah Brown, another player. You can go up and down our roster, but they wanted to come to Michigan to create something incredibly special. And what they were able to do this year, when we had to battle so much adversity. I mean, we played the last 3 games without our point guard, who's amazing. She's one of the best I think the best point guard in the country. We played without her, and they played for her, and it was the next person up. And that's kind of what we've done all year long. So when you get a group of people that believe in something and believe in each other the way that this group does, you have the opportunity to create something special. And they created something special, and it's something that we'll never forget. But anybody that's listening, you go back and you look in the records at Michigan women's basketball. And, what they were able to accomplish this year is pretty incredible. And we had to face some programs with some rich tradition this week, and we battled in every single one of them. So I just think it speaks volumes about these kids.
We'll go to Ben Rozoff.
Hey, Coach. I just want to know a little bit about your seniors, Haley and AK coming back for that extra year. And both have had great postseasons, and especially AK stepping up today. I'm just curious what their kind of mood was like after the game and what they've brought for you this entire year and their whole careers at Michigan.
They're 2 incredibly special young women. And, Haley Brown, she's a Canadian kid, another kid that, could have gone anywhere, decided between Duke, Florida State, and Michigan. And those are 2, programs that have reached the pinnacle of basketball. And she decided to come to Michigan. And since she has stepped on campus, we've done nothing but be successful. That is, a large part of that is due to her. She deserves credit for that. So, this year with COVID and everything else, she wavered. She wasn't sure if she was going to come back. Her family couldn't come across the border. There were so many times she hasn't seen her family maybe once in the last year. So the sacrifices that she's made, because she told me, Coach, something keeps drawing me back here. Something keeps drawing me back. I feel like we could really have such a special season, and I don't want to regret that for the rest of my life. So I'm going to sacrifice, and I'm going to sacrifice seeing my family, and I'm going to live by myself, and I'm going to socially distance and stay away from COVID as best as I can. And she has done all of those things. I mean, I had a coach say to me at one point this year, well, why are you worried about COVID? Haven't all your kids tested positive already? And I was taken aback because no, not every one of our kids has, and that's really hard to do. The sacrifices that you have to make, because it is so contagious and it's so prevalent. You really isolate yourself. And I've had 3 young women that have lived by themselves this year, and they haven't tested positive for COVID, and they've sacrificed so much. And Haley was one of those people, but we would not be here today without her. And it can raise another one. I mean, she was super nervous about COVID, nervous about playing through COVID, not sure about coming back, not even sure about coming back the 5th year. This is a kid that suffered through 2 ACLs. When she got back from her second ACL, she broke her hand. Her first 3 years as a player at Michigan, she hardly played. Most people, I mean, if you watch anybody nowadays, they transfer. If you don't play immediately, you're in the transfer portal the next day. This kid stuck with it and persevered. Wasn't getting playing time at all and became one of the best defenders, arguably the best defender in the country. If anybody could take anything away, and Kim said this to me as well, is our defense was ridiculous all tournament against Florida Gulf Coast, who averages 15 threes, against Tennessee, who scores the basketball, and tonight against Baylor, who scores 100 points a game. So, and Kenray leads that defense. She leads that defense. So without our seniors and their experience and their maturity, some days we would come to practice and we get to the circle, and every day we'd say, we don't know what tomorrow's going to bring, because that happened to us last March. And there were about 3 or 4 different times this year where tomorrow was no tomorrow, and we were shut down. And when we're talking shut down, we're not saying, hey, go to the gym and you can have practice, or go to the gym and you can put your hand on the ball. Our university was closed, and we were in isolation, quarantine, not allowed to leave our house in the middle of our season. And then come back, and here you go. Now let's play. Upon return, let's play Iowa at Iowa. Let's play Maryland. Let's play Northwestern. Let's play Indiana after a 1-day turnaround from Michigan State. That was our schedule upon return from a 2-week pause. And then we weren't recognized, as a top team in the country. I want anybody else to do that. But our kids, they kept fighting, and they kept plugging along, and they kept believing in each other. And here we are today. So, yeah, I can't speak enough about our seniors. Sorry. I think I talked, I'm done. I talked enough. I think I talked till it blew up. Okay, thank you.
We're now joined by Naz Hillman, and we'll begin this portion of the press conference. I'm just going to reset the hands and then raise your hand if you have a question for Naz. We'll go to Maxwell Wadley.
Hey Naz, Max Wadley from the Michigan Daily. What's kind of going through your head right now? You guys started off with a historic 10-0 start, first Sweet 16 in program history. To lose to overtime against Baylor. What's kind of going through your head right now?
That's a great question. It's like right now thinking about, everything you could have done different in that game to get the win. You think about, the seniors who won't be here next year. You think about all the ups and downs of the season. And how far we've come and how far we could have gone if the outcome of this game was a little bit different. And to think of all of those isn't, just to run things through your mind, but brings a bunch of positive memories that we've had throughout the year. And, you just think about, the special moments that you've had, with this team, since it won't look the same next year.
Go to Steve Kornacki.
Hi, Naz. What did Kim tell the team in the locker room? What was her message to you?
Yeah, so she really tries to do the 24-hour rule, so she doesn't say too much. But she talked about our seniors and how much they've meant to this team and this program. You guys talked to her a second ago, and she just talked about how it was tough for both of our seniors to come back with COVID and the 5th year and everything in between. And then she also talked about how special this group of girls were this year. And something along the lines of, not ever having a team like this one. And, how proud she was of us and how thankful that all of us came to the university. She spoke about that a little while ago, and like as much as she's upset about the loss, just so thankful for this year and each and every single person in that locker room.
We'll go to Lily Israel.
Hey Naz, this is Lily Israel from the Michigan Daily. You played all of 2 minutes the entire game and with 3 and 4 fouls for most of the second half. Physically, how were you able to do that? And mentally, like, how were you just able to keep going?
Yeah, I think physically, we've prepared for this all year. Practices are tough, and sometimes they're long. So, going into that overtime, we were just, kind of saying to each other, this is the second hour of practice. We've done this before. We grind it out every day in practice. When they get long and hard in preseason or in the middle of the season. And mentally, we just kept saying, empty the tank. I mean, obviously for now, there is no tomorrow, but, if you don't give 110%, there won't be a chance of a tomorrow. So that was our goal in mind. We wanted to get to the next step. We could have, if we pulled this one out, we could rest tomorrow or the rest of the night. You don't come this far and say, I'm tired. It's a mental state of mind, and we really believe that. And my teammates were behind me, bringing a ton of energy. And, in that moment, you just want to win. Tired isn't the thing you're thinking about. You're thinking about defense. You're thinking about your next offensive move. You're thinking about getting a rebound. So, we've been prepared for this all year long.
Go to Angelique with the Detroit News.
Nas, Kim was saying that no one really respected this team going into the tournament. Certainly didn't think you'd beat Florida Gulf Coast and not an SEC team and then not Baylor. What does this tournament tell people about Michigan?
Yeah, it tells people that, we are a tough team and we come to compete. And we've believed that all year long. I mean, there's been a lot of outside voices, and we talked about how they can sometimes get inside, but we've never allowed that to do that to us. And even if we felt like we did, we were able to regroup and talk about believing in the people in the circle. And I think that's the way that we played throughout the years, playing inspired, playing for the people who weren't on the court, playing for the people who are on the court. And for other people, whether they believe it now or not, we're a tough program. And we're going to play our hearts out every single night, and we're going to bring energy. And we're working towards championships. That's why I came to Michigan. I wanted to go somewhere where I could help build a program and win some championships. And this has been a special team, having a lot of firsts. But now it's time to make seconds. We've got a long ways to go, as the season just ended, and we have to redo this all again next year. But we're a program that's coming to compete, and it's not going to be an easy program to just step over.
We'll go to Nicholas Moen.
Hey Naz, you guys had 18 turnovers today, had some big ones in overtime. How do you think turnovers as a whole affected the outcome of today?
Yeah, I definitely think they played a part. Some of our turnovers led to their easy transition. Definitely something that we wanted to limit, not in this game, but we've been trying to limit our turnovers all year. If you go back and look, we've been heavy on the turnovers throughout the year, and in most times it's not helping us be successful. But there was a lot of things going into that game that didn't help the outcome, but definitely turnovers not helping us because, like I said, Baylor got some open, easy transition, and that's something that they really want to do to get easy buckets.
Go to Abby Telgenhoff.
Hey Naz, Abby Telgenhoff from the Michigan Daily. Leah Brown really came alive in the second half for you guys, trying to kind of spark some offense. And then, she missed some key shots late in overtime. But overall, what'd she bring to the game today for you guys?
Yeah, obviously all of you guys see the offense that she brings to the floor. Like Coach spoke on a little bit earlier, when I'm drawing a lot of attention, her eyes light up. She's ready to go. She's not afraid of the moment. She's not afraid of the spotlight. And she takes over any chance that she has the opportunity to. But she also brings a toughness. There's no quit in her. there's no quitting in everybody on our team, but there's really no quitting her, and she wants to be a winner, and she wants to do anything that she can to make us a successful team, and that's why she came here. And I mean, she's a tough matchup for anybody, and I've seen it all year long. I mean, 3-level scorer, defender, trying to get in there for rebounds. So she brought a lot to our team, and I'm sure everyone would just look at her box score and the type of numbers that she put up. But her toughness and her aggression and her fight is another thing that she brought to the floor tonight.
We'll go to Ben Rozoff.
Yeah, Coach mentioned, obviously you guys don't have any deal through this tournament, and Coach kind of mentioned you guys were playing for her. I'm just curious if that was on your guys' minds and how you missed her throughout this tournament, and whether she'll be proud of what you guys displayed here in San Antonio.
Yes, that is something that are on our mind before each of the games that we played. We broke it down with playing for her. And, that's not unfamiliar territory for us because we've had some times where our teammates weren't here. Coach talked about Leah not being here earlier in the year, and, a couple of other people went down. And that's just, for us, it was playing inspired basketball because we know those people would want to be on the court with us, would want to be giving us energy, even if they couldn't physically play, at least being on the bench. So she was in the back of our mind, and we know that, she's super proud of us and wish that she could be here. But, we all stepped up for her, and that's been a key thing this year, next woman up. Being able to play and being ready to play whenever your number is called.
Our final question will go to Lily Israel.
My question was answered.
All right, Naz, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Congratulations on the season. That's it for today's press conference. A recording of it will be available on the NCAA Digital Media Hub at www.ncaa.veritone.com. Thanks for joining us.